Good morning students, this is Joy Varghese from Uncovering Chemistry. Today in video 10 we are going to discuss about the chemical properties which was left out, that is reactivity with what we call it as oxygen. So this group 16 elements form two types of oxide. Group 16 elements form two types of oxide. Yeah? Now which are the two types? That is when we say EO2 and EO3 type of oxide, what we say EO2 and EO3 type of oxides, what we say, where E is equal to sulfur, selenium, tellurium and polonium. Now in your book you can see sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium is all. This where E is equal to like this. Okay. So now when we say this all oxides, both all oxides which are formed, that is EO2 and EO3 type, are acidic in nature. Acidic in nature. Okay, so don't forget this. This you can write down. All oxides are acidic in nature, what we say. Now, ozone and sulfur dioxide are gases. What is the word? O3. And sulfur dioxide, SO2, are gases. While what we call it as selenium. What is the word? Selenium dioxide, that is SeO2, is solid. Clear? So don't forget this. This one you can write down. This is second point you can see. Then the third point. Okay. So now this all what we say here. That is first, second, and third. Now third one, if you want, you can write it down. This reducing property of dioxide decreases from, what is the word? Reducing property decreases from what we call SeO2 to TeO2. O2 or O3, I think it is written there, you can see. Reducing process, TeO2 only. Okay, so what is the meaning of that? You can write down, that is SeO2 and TeO2, what we say. So reducing property decreases. So we can write there that SO2 is reducing. SO2 is reducing while TeO2 is oxidizing in nature. It is reducing, and another one is what we call it as oxidizing in nature. That is, we can call it as SeO2 is a reducing agent when TeO2 is an oxidizing agent. Okay, I think you can see that. Just a minute. Okay, so this is the third point what you can write it down. Then one more point is there, that is point number 4, what we say. Point number 4. Clear? Now in your textbook it is given on page 188, you can also go through it. That is EO2 type, that is sulfur, selenium and tellurium also form EO3 types oxide. That is sulfur, selenium and tellurium. Okay, so these three you can remember, that is sulfur, selenium and tellurium. Clear? Okay, also form EO3 types oxide. Now, when we write EO3 type oxide, that is what? Sulfur, when it forms EO3 type, means what? SO3, what we can say. Selenium, we can say SeO3, and tellurium, you can say TeO3. Okay, so like this type of oxides in form, and this all oxides, what I wrote in beginning only, they all are acidic in nature. Understood this part? So this was all about reactivity with oxygen. Understood? Now we will discuss about reactivity with halogens. Okay, reactivity with, now this you can write it down. This MCQs can be asked based on this what properties what we have written here. Okay, these are the chemical properties. Okay, now the next one is of reactivity with what we call it as halogen. Reactivity with halogen. Or two words also you can write. Reactivity towards the halogens. Okay, so this is the next topic what we are going to discuss in this video number 10. Okay. Now, the group 16 element form halides of the type. Halides of the type we can write here EX6, EX4 and EX2 type. What we say. Understood? So these are the three forms EX6, EX4 and EX2 type where E is the group 16 elements and X are halogens. Okay, so like this what we say. Okay, so these are the group types of halides what are formed what we say. Then the stability of halides decreases. Stability of halides. Clear? So now when we write down this, this you can write it as point number 1. This you can write it as point number 2. F minus greater than Cl minus greater than Br minus greater than I minus. So if you see greater than sign means stability decreases from fluorine to iodine. So chlorine is the most stable compared to chlorine, bromine and iodine what we say. Understood? Then another topics are given, that is hexafluorides which are formed. Among the hexafluoride hexafluoride are only stable halide. Means what? Okay. So now suppose if we write, just a minute. See here. Third point, among hexahalides. Now hexahalides means what? This I am talking about. Among hexahalide, hexafluoride is most stable or highly stable, what we call it as hexafluoride. Okay. Now that one what is there? No? In that out of that hexafluoride also SF6 is the most stable, what we call. Which is the most stable hexafluoride? SF6 is the most stable. It can be asked for MCQ. Okay. Now out of this all hexafluoride, sulfur hexafluoride is the most stable, what we call. Okay. Then it is if a reason is asked why sulfur hexafluoride is more stable, it is due to steric reasons. Now steric reason, when we say sulfur combines with fluorine at like this, how many places? What we call 6 places. How many places? 6. And all what we call fluorines are electronegative, so it will not bond length is also shorter. So this one is the most stable hexafluoride, what we say. Okay, that is given in your book, what we say. Now another one what we want to discuss about so SF6. It is hybridization. I think it is given in your book. It is sp3d2 hybridized. SF6 is sp3d2 hybridized. Okay, means one s orbital, 3p orbital and 2d orbital. Okay, so these are the questions can be asked for MCQ. What is the reason? Which one is the most stable hexafluoride? It is SF6. Then why it is stable? Because of the reason steric hindrance. And what is the hybridization? So it is sp3d2 hybridized, what we say. Understood? So this one you can write it down. And another one is also given. The shape is also given. So this is hybridization shape. Shape, if it is asked, you can write octahedron. What is the word? Octahedron. Understood? This octahedral you can remember like this, you can draw, and like this. 4 on the top, and this 4 you can connect at the bottom like this. So this is the way how it forms octahedral. 8 sides it forms. Okay. On the top, what we call it as 4 side, and bottom 4 side. There are 2 pyramids on top. A 4 side pyramid on top and 4 side pyramid on bottom. So like that octahedral shape it forms. Okay. SF6 I am talking about. Then they have also discussed about what we call it as SF4 type, sulfur tetrafluoride. That I will rub this. Okay, so let me rub this part. You can write down later. Okay, so when we talk about SF4 type, which one? SF4, that is sulfur tetrafluoride. Okay, now SF4 sulfur tetra word is for 4 fluorine, what we say, and the structure, if you see, the structure is like this. And like this. Okay, so you can remember the structure, or if for convenience, straight you write here 2 fluorines, and here 1 fluorine, and here 1 fluorine. Okay, so SF4, what we say, it is seesaw structure. Structure, if you write here, structure, the seesaw. Seesaw you are seeing in garden. The seesaw type structure, you can see this can be like a seesaw. What we say, this is a plank of seesaw. Okay, seesaw you must have seen, no? Like this it is. Okay, actually this 2 fluorine, this is fluorine, and here what I call it as sulfur. Okay, so this is seesaw type, what is given there. Seesaw type is the structure. Hybridization, when we say hybridization, okay, so it is sp3d, what is given. What is the hybridization? It is sp3d hybrid. Okay, and if a question is asked, what is the shape? The shape, what you can write? Shape you can write bipyramidal. Understood? So bipyramidal is the shape what is given there. Okay. Then okay. So this is of SF4 types of halide, that is of what we call it as EF4 type, EX4 type. Which type? EX4 type of halide what is formed. Then the next one what is given is of another type, what we say here. I will just, I think everything is over for this. Now the next one, you will rub this and write the halide of the type, that is type EX2 type. Which one? EX2. In that SF2 type halide is given. Which type? SF2, no? SCl we call it. SCl2. Understood? Now in that, if you see, no, here the structure for sulfur, I will write the structure like this, and here chlorine like this. Understood? So the structure, if you see, it is a band structure. Which structure? Band structure. Okay? So band structure you can remember. Then there's a band structure with the hybridization, if is asked. Hybridization. It is hybridization is sp3. Right? Hybridization sp3, what we say? Then the shape, if it is asked, so it is tetrahedral. What is the shape? Tetrahedral. So these are the questions which are asked in MCQ. You can go through it in your textbook. Okay, but I think this one will be your ready reference, what we say. So write it down in your fairbook, what is all this geometry and all things what we have written. Okay, this you have studied in 11th standard in 4th chapter, chemical bonding and molecular structure. Many things what you have studied, you can see the 11th standard textbook also for this. Okay, so these are the things what we have discussed. Then some another are also given. Now one more property is left out, that is among tetrafluoride. Clear? Among tetrafluoride, always remember this can be asked for what you call it as 1 mark MCQ. SF4 is gas. Okay, SF4 is gas. Then SeF4. when we call about SeF4 is liquid and TeF4 is solid. Okay, so don't forget this. This can be asked for MCQ question. Okay, SF4 that is gaseous state, SeF4 is liquid, and TeF4 what we call it as is solid state. Understood? Now another one also topic is left out. Monohalides are dimeric in nature. They have seen given there. Now what is that I will explain. Monohalides, when we say monohalides are dimeric in nature. Now what is the meaning of dimeric? Means what? Two molecules combine to form one molecule. Clear? Now simple example is of SeCl. They both combine SeCl to give you what? Se2Cl2. Means what? SeCl you can write like this, then you can write like again like this SeCl. Clear? So they combine like this and form what we call it as a monomer. What they form as means these two molecules combine to form what we call it as a, what it forms? Like this you can write it down. Okay, like this. Okay, so they combine to form what we call it as a dimer. Dimer means two molecules combine to form one molecule. Okay. Now, in this case, another example is given for what we call it as dimeric molecule. That is, the dimeric halides undergo disproportionation. What is the word? Dimeric halides undergoes disproportionation. Clear? Now, what is disproportionation that we have discussed? Same element gets oxidized and reduced. Clear? That's why it is called disproportionation. Okay. Now for that, in your textbook, if you see one example is given, that is 2Se2Cl2. What is given there gets disproportionated into SeCl4. What we call it as, what it gets become SeCl4 plus 3Se. What? 3Se. Now in this case, its number, what is it? Oxidation number is 0. What we have studied in redox reaction in 11. In this case, -1 into what is given? -1 into 4. So -4. So here it will be +4. Same way here, -1 into 2. So here it will be what? +1. Understood what we say here? Understood? So 2 into +1. So here if you see, or if you combine, it will be 4 +4. So here +2 oxidation state. Here if you see 2 +4, that is what? It is oxidation in this case. Understood? And then from +2 to 0. So that we can call it as what? Reduction. So that's why same selenium gets oxidized also and selenium get reduced also. That's why it is called disproportionation reaction. So this was what we call it as all about the chemical properties. What we have seen, you can just write it down in your fair book, these all things. Now, so this was all about what we call it as the chemical properties, what we have discussed in this video 10. In the next video, we will be continuing with what we call it as preparations of dioxygen. Okay, so till then we will stop here. Next time we will be continuing with the next topics. Okay, thank you very much.